the Honourable MP for Leyton Orient, my fellow councillors.
Thank you everybody very much on behalf of the Cunningham family to memorise my brother and to keep his memory alive, and not because he's my brother, but he was the greatest. Thank you.
Yes, he was.
I'm not going to argue with that, obviously, but what it's so nice to see is that when Laurie was at Orient, he was very happy at Orient, and he learnt a lot, and he played with honour for Orient. So for us all to be here today, it's kind of come full circle in paying honour to him and also to the club, and in recognition of his start in football and the path that he did create for others to follow. So we stand here with pride and honour, and we thank Orient for all their hard work and their recognition as well. And thank you everybody for here.
Steady now, steady. Good afternoon everyone. It's a real privilege to be here. Myself and Brendan, we played with Laurie for 2 years. An excellent player, a great player. Looking back, the things he'd done on the football pitch was magnificent. He was graceful, he had balance, he had style, a real great player. Well, one thing, wherever I go in the country, around the world, there's one word that everybody says to me about Laurie Cunningham, that was inspirational. He changed the face of British football. He changed the face of black football. He inspired a second and third generation of players in a time where we had to fight a lot of racism, a lot of barriers about black players couldn't play football, and Laurie Cunningham stood head and shoulders amongst them. I'm sure Brendan will have his own memories of him. But there's one game when Laurie Cunningham played against Valencia away, and he was absolutely fantastic. Everything he'd done was great. Everything he touched, his movement, he scored a fantastic goal. He was just excellent. And that game, Real Madrid bought him afterwards for that. He was absolutely sensational. He's going to be very sadly missed by myself and everybody else, but in terms of black football history, he will never ever be forgotten. Thank you.
I echo what Cyrille said there, and referring back to that game against Valencia, I was right full-back, Laurie was right wing, and I just thank the Lord that I wasn't marking him that night because he was literally unplayable, and as Cyrille said, that sold him to Real Madrid. But I remember seeing Laurie, I think he's about 15 years old. I was actually down here. I mean, I grew up in, when I came to England, I grew up in Walthamstow, and I was kicking my heels around one afternoon. I was starting my career at Arsenal, and I came down here because in the papers there was all this publicity around Laurie. And actually in the stand, if I remember correctly, was Clyde Best, who was at West Ham. And we sat there and we watched this first time I saw Laurie play. And he was like a gazelle, really. I mean, he's like a Formula One car, because he received the ball, he would stand still, invite the challenge, and then he was gone. And it's one of those things that sometimes you see young players with a lot of ability, but they never sometimes go on and fulfill their potential. But Laurie did in every way possible. And for those of us who saw him play, and for those of us who played with him, I think we were very, very privileged. And what you saw on the playing field for Laurie, what you didn't see was on the training ground, because that's when he was expansive. You want to see great players, watch him in training, they're very, very expansive. And Laurie was fantastic. You know, I mean, I only played with him for the best part of 15 months. I joined West Brom in January 78, and Laurie was gone in June 79. So I was very, very privileged to have joined at the right time and see him possibly approaching the height of his ability. He's missed. When I talk about Laurie, I remember him so fondly. And as Cyrille said, you know, there's nothing you couldn't help but like about Laurie. But he's only 33 when he left, but weren't we privileged to see him for those 33 years? I wish you well. Thank you very much, Leyton Orient, for this fantastic tribute.
What a fabulous fella. He's the sort of fella you want to get older and cuddle, you know, and look after him. But he was a talent. Straight away, when he first broke into the first team, he was a talent. He was going to go big stuff.
What else I can say, everyone has spoken so highly of Laurie, and every word's true. And I think the thing that came across here, I think, for me, it's for the club as well, because when Laurie was playing, it was when racism was rife, but it was never rife at the Orient.
Right, we're going to do this as a family, as a Leyton Orient family, all right? Okay, we just gave a little sneak preview there. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3, 1, 2, 3. Legend, pioneer in England footballer, played for Leyton Orient 1974 to 1977, started his career this day, 12th of October 1974. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a beautiful day. Thanks.